Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
What are you guys looking at this morning? How's everything going?
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, I had an
The
alert
usual
there.
suspects.
Usual suspects. MES crossing 7173.
MQ Golden Oil.
Yeah, I've got a lot of drawings on here. I will share why. I have not looked at gold this morning. I wish these would not show up every time. This is paper trading, testing out different things with limit orders and using different tools. But anyway, what an incredible move down this morning. So anyway, market's open. Anybody trading right now, good luck. Here's what I'm looking at now that the market's open. Oh, Donald Trump just said something. I may as well share it. Iran has just informed us that they are in a state of collapse. They want us to open the Hormuz Strait as soon as possible as they try to figure out their leadership situation, which I believe they will be able to do. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So this could absolutely be having an impact on crude. So, I mean, if things get rectified, I don't know if that's the right word, crude could be pulling back. But then there was news this morning, and I don't know if it's in here. Let's look at 5 things to know before. And I'll finish my sentence about oil in a minute. S&P 500, NASDAQ poised to retreat from record highs. Yes, it's been retreating. The futures, anyway, have been retreating overnight. WTI tops $100 a barrel again. Fed meeting kicks off today. Likely Powell's last as chair, with interest rate decision coming in tomorrow. Earnings season kicks into high gear. Spotify this morning. And then we've got a few after the close tonight. Robinhood, Bloom Energy will be very interesting. I don't know if any of you are trading that or investing in that. This is a very, very interesting company as far as energy production for AI and AI units. What are they called again? My God. Sometimes I lose my words. What are they trying to block everywhere in the States? Can't think of the word. If somebody thinks of, anyway, Bloom Energy, on the spot energy. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. What I was about to say, and I wanted to know if it was in here, is that the UAE, is it in breaking news? UAE has decided to, and it's just something I read online, so it's not verified necessarily, saying they want to leave OPEC. So F5, Morgan Stanley, UAE, is it in there? I don't see it on here, and it seems like a pretty big deal. UAE quits OPEC and OPEC Plus right there. So United Arab Emirates announced on Tuesday it has withdrawn from OPEC, delivering a major setback to the oil exporting groups. Not necessarily sure what that will affect, but it could have an impact on oil, obviously. Sorry, the watch is going crazy. And it's about the SPY. So what's going on with SPY right now? We're slipping from 4 a.m. From 4 a.m. here, we were coming down, found a possible bottom over here. But if we put a fib from the low, from the high to the low, we are approaching that 50 right now. So personally, I would not be going long over here because this could just be a retracement into the 50. And this golden zone right here will be a very interesting spot. That is a lot of volume for the first 5 minutes. The Qs, same thing. Big pullback. Is not as close to the 50 right now. So this would be an interesting area for me to look at. And what else have we got? I wanted to share, and I will do it in a few minutes. We've looked at earnings, looked at the economic calendar. We have not, economic calendar. What we have, CB, consumer confidence. And then do they even mention that the FOMC is meeting today, but nothing's going to be released. So until tomorrow. And what I wanted to share as well is these two trades from yesterday. This one we did live, the MNQ Golden Zone short. This one ended up working very well. And then this was something I was looking at after I logged off on Bitcoin futures. This one worked incredibly well to the penny. However, entry on something like this needs to be with a limit order, which is something I'm practicing. As far as higher time frame, we had a level here from a while ago. We have pulled back quite a bit from the highs of yesterday, but this was Monday, this was Friday. We're just below the open of Friday. So even though it looks like a massive pullback, we were here just a few days ago. So nothing to panic about yet. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some buyers stepping in again because things are at a discount right now. MES, very similar. We are at an area of, this was an area, right, where price is right now. I can put this level right here, was support over here, then it was support over here. We were underneath here, then it chopped around this level, then right over here, it was resistance. Right, and then we wicked it down below this level and then took off from there. So we're right at that level again. Right, so very interesting area. I'll share what happened in pre-market just a little bit later on. Just went long, just risking 30-minute low. Went long 71.62, 71.62. And this could be the bottom. Right, this absolutely could be the bottom, but if I put a fib here from the top, let me drag this one. There we go, from the top all the way to the bottom. So this one is not from 4 a.m. This one, the top was at 8 p.m. last night on futures, right? So the 50 is much higher, right? So what I was talking about on the Qs opened at 4 a.m. So I drew the fibs on the Qs here from 4 a.m. to the low. I would set an alert over here. As far as SPY is concerned, we are just approaching the 50. Let's see if we're exactly at the right spot. The high 714.85. So we're 2 pennies off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it right on 85. There we go. And then the low was at 709.45. 709.45. 709.45. There we go. So this level right here is just an interesting level. I want to see what happens over here on SPY, right? If I were trading SPY right now, this is where I'd be paying attention. MNQ. It's, you know what, I won't remove this one from yesterday. How about I'm not taking a trade in the first half hour anyway, so that's why I don't mind being all over the place here, and this video will be shared with my students. So this is why I'm I'm sharing these drawings here. So yesterday we had on MNQ, we started selling and then we pulled back. Once we pulled back here, we started selling again. So this was another impulse sell. It started around 7:30 a.m. We could not make a new high. So that's why I started my fib over here. And during the live session yesterday, I set the low, and this is on the 30-minute. I set the low here of this 30-minute candle. Then I switch over to the 5-minute. Let's go back to here. There we go. Once that was set and this low was set, this is where I go into the 5-minute and set an alert for this area right here. Then for entry, I like the 2-minute. Let me just zoom into here. There you go. So for entry, I like the 2-minute, but what I've been testing out, and Tony's been a great help with that, is getting in with a limit order. As soon as, and again, it's something we're testing out. It's not perfected at all. But getting in with a limit order as soon as we retrace into the 50 with a stop loss at 61.8. So had I entered with a limit order over here and aimed for 3R, it would have been hit right here. But right after hitting the 3R, it came right back and came back to my break even. So if I were managing this, it'd be difficult to see your trade go to 3R, go to target, not take profit because you're aiming for 5, 6, 7, or 20, and then it comes back to break even. A lot of traders would just exit that position. However, if you left it on, it did end up coming back down to a 3.96 or almost 4R. But what we're testing out right now is 3-to-1 and only 3-to-1, as in make it mechanical. All right, so this one worked out perfectly yesterday. As far as entry is concerned, let me remove these drawings now. My entry criteria is on a bearish 2-minute candle once it comes into here. The only bearish 2-minute candle is actually the green candle over here, where it wicked up, it closed inside, but then once we break this low, it'd be possible to set your stop above the wick or at the 61.8. However, the first bearish candle, really truly bearish candle, is this one right here. So if you went short on the break of the low of this bearish candle with your stop at 61.8, well, that's a massive stop, right? So it's what, 235 points. I don't know if this is working properly. I'm just making changes here. And then you'd be looking at 3R is pretty far away. So I likely would not be taking a trade like this according to my bearish candle rule. Right? So I would have missed out on here. And that's why we're testing out after the low. Once it pokes into the 50, enter on a limit order, stop at 61.8, aim for 3R. Right there, or close to it. So that one worked. The other one I wanted to share, come on. There we go. The other one I wanted to share was on MBT. We'll ignore this one. This is something I was looking at this morning. Also worked. Actually, here, I'll start with this one. So on MBT, right, it started selling from the high over here. That was pre-market high. This is where it put in a low. It retraced into the 50, limit order. Once it goes into the 50, stop at 61.8, aim for 3R. Oh, would have worked right there. Yes, it made it all the way, and that's different traders will trade it differently. The system that I'm building out right now is +3 or -1. Only two possibilities. So that one worked in pre-market. And then yesterday, This one's a little bit more difficult to explain. This is something I'm definitely testing out. We were selling, pulled back, selling, pulled back. So we're pretty much in a zone here. But once we started selling over here, so in other words, on a 5-minute fair value gap, once I set the top of my fibs where the impulse sell really started, well, it started right here. And we can tell because of the 5-minute fair value gap, right? This was the bottom. And then it chopped and slowly made its way back to the 50. It touched the 50 to the penny. Limit order entry, stop at 61.8, aim for 3R. 10 minutes later, it was hit. These work often. I'm not going to say we don't have stats yet on the percentage of time that it works. And again, this is part of what, sorry, hang on a second. This is, I don't know if Amal trades micro Bitcoin or gold or whatever, but, and I don't know how he sets the beginning of his fibs, but this is part of the strategy. And if you haven't seen his video, it is in Avi's YouTube channel. It's a fantastic video to watch as far as how to trade these fibs. Not quite sure what it's called. If anybody has the link, we could always share it in the chat here. Yeah, candles are very, yeah. Anza went long. You went long on NQ, or sorry, on MES. And is this the right one? Yeah, there we go. So going long on MES, approaching the 50 here. This could be very interesting. I know I've got a lot of drawings here. What I wanted to share is that this setup worked many times this morning. There we go. Let's get rid of these. I actually took a long here yesterday and got out because it was just after 6 o'clock. I went in long, then realized, you know what, I'm not leaving this for long because it is aftermarket, lower volume, and we are approaching or beyond all-time highs again. So this was something I took a quick scalp in this for 1 hour, and I'm glad I got out because I had the proper mindset thinking, you know what, this is likely not going to make all crazy kinds of highs because it is in post-market. So this morning when I woke up, I looked at the high here. Zoom in just into this. So I put a fib from the high to actually I worked on this one right here. That was the first one I looked at. This one, my limit order entry would not have worked because it went beyond the 61.8. So if I were to put a short entry right here, as soon as it hit the 50, stop at 61.8 and plus 3, right there. Don't need to concentrate on it because it would have stopped me out as soon as it went in, but there's probably an entry on a 2-minute over here, 2 minutes short. So this one did not work with the stop at 61.8. If the stop were higher, let's say above the high of the previous candle over here at 72.1950, you would have been okay. But from there, we started making new lows. And then there's another impulse sell right here. Right, we're trying to make new highs, but then we start selling. So over here to the low, the first low, it does not touch here, it does not over here, right? Once we put it at this low over here, worked perfectly here. Short at the 50, stop at 61.8, aim for 3R. There you go. So that's a winner right there. -1 plus 3 is +2. Obviously, if you don't sell it, and if that's the first one, and you aim for this is a higher time frame level, that's a 15R trade. Or if you actually got in here and your stop was above the high day, this is hindsight's always, everybody's an amazing trader in hindsight, but 15R trade. Not the way that I trade, but these moves are possible. Right? I'm not trying to say that I took these trades and they just, in hindsight, just looking at them after the fact, they, because I am building a system to be able to trade these. Actually, I'd love to have the, I'm not going to share everything, but I'd love to be able to catch these moves during the overnight period, right? And then, did I do this one? Pulled back. I did this one. Okay, so over here, we started selling again. Right? And that was the low, Not quite sure if I did this one. Is that the one I just did? I think I didn't. When I was looking at it this morning, there were 3 or possibly 4 setups in a row that worked. Different ways to trade it. Possible to get in and aim for 3R, or when you see the setup happening again, right? And if you're still in the position over here, you can add to your position, right? So that 15R or 20R that I said could be massively more. And the way that Avi trades, I can imagine that if there's no obvious reason to sell, then, you stay in or add to your position. And this one right here. So we're selling again right here. Right? Put it there, go to here. This I was actually looking at right before the open, and it punched up ahead above here. So I would delete this, right? It's no longer valid. But on the higher time frame, from here to here, this one still punched up, get rid of it. On the initial move, so pre-market high to pre-market low, this is something that I will be looking at, and I am going to set an alert. So from the entire move, that's the 50 right here. Very similar price action. I'm not going to go through it all on MNQ, but very, very similar price action for massive moves. They don't always look like this, but right now they're textbook. Is it reversing already? Let's set the major area over here. No. And I'm going to set an alert just below these 2 wicks over here. So I want to see, do we pull into here? And other people might be looking at, well, they want to go long. Well, let's look at it. Look at going long. Once we hit this high here, look at how it pulled into the 50 area, the golden zone area, and then a massive buying candle over here. Right? So somebody going long, if you miss the entry over here, there's a possibility to catch an entry once it proves itself above the golden zone. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. Again, for those who haven't heard, my pre-market high, pre-market low are working. The reason it's blurry is because yesterday high and yesterday low was at the same level. So I need to work on my algorithm to fix this. It works on SPY. Yeah, it works on SPY or different stocks, but it's just not working on futures right now. I'll get it working. So there you go, almost a half hour of me blabbing. Hopefully you guys are into or watching something that's working out for you.
Gold might have put golden zone on the 1 hour time frame.
1 hour. Did you say gold? I had to fix my volume there.
Yeah.
So on the 1 hour time frame, what I'm seeing is we had an impulse sell from here before it pulled back, right? So we did not make a new high after this. So that's where I draw my fib over here, and I'd go over here, and this is where I'd be interested. So I would set an alert. Because right now the sellers are in control. It is possible, and some people might, set a fib over here. But then the further out that you go, the less impactful I have found them to be. And now this is something that I'm still working on. Do you put it at the top of the wick here, or do you put it at the beginning of the selling, right? Which the selling happened once we broke down below this kangaroo tail type reverse hammer candle here. Right. So personally, this is where I think the selling started. Excuse me. So I had drawn it incorrectly. But again, it's not the way that I'm trying to build it. It will be an automatic entry, but the way I'm trading it right now is not an automatic entry. So it's an area of interest. I want to see what will it do once it comes back over here. And I usually, once the market's open, I usually look at the 5-minute timetable. So on the 5-minute, yeah, I like this area right here, right around there. But it doesn't mean that a long wouldn't work, because if you draw a fib from the bottom to the reversal, look at how it's reacting to the golden zone. Right? We're not going lower. The 61.8 right here, look at how it was tested, but it's being supported. We have not closed, this is 5-minute, we have not closed a candle below this area. Right? So it's holding as support right now for the long. Personally, if I were long, if I did take a long right here, I would be aiming for the 50 from the other side as my profit target. So let's put it in here. Let's say that this is where I drew it. This is where I entered on a limit entry. Stop. I would have been stopped out if my stop was at 61.8, but let's say I put it underneath this wick over here. I would have been okay. Can I get to 3R before getting there, before getting to this zone? Yes, I can. Then for me, it's a valid trade. Right? That's the beauty of aiming for just 3R. 3R consistently. You don't need to worry about overhead possible resistance, because I can get there. Actually, the market is likely to come back to this area. So along from here back to here, once we start breaking structure over here and we start making a new high, and if I put a level, right, oops, Alt-H, right, once we broke out of here and it's holding as support, a long is likely to make it back to the sellers that are still waiting up here. Right, so anyway, that's what I'm looking at. That's the way that my brain works with these and then with these setups I was going to say. But then over here on the 30-minute time frame, there was a really nice breakdown and retest. Right, we consolidated, broke down, retested, broke down, did not make a new high. Right, and then right over here, right, That was a consolidation area here. That's on a 2 minutes, not ideal. Let's look at a 30. Right over here, once we broke down below here, once you zoom into a 5 minute or a 2 minute, it did break down and then retested for the further move down. Same thing with this area here. Right, went down, consolidated, tried to make a new high, broke down right below here, and then not much of a retest for the further move down. All kinds of possibilities catching this move. What that's one of the 20 reasons why I got back into futures, is because you don't have to trade the open. I mean, if I had taken this trade, you'd be one and done, or 3 or 4 and done. Spotify earnings sold off. Pre-market sold off. Chopped, making new lows. This was a higher time frame level that I had here for possible support. It broke down below it. That is a massive candle, so a lot of people are getting out. Got to go quite a ways. Personally, I would put a level right around there now. Oh, we're lower than that, so there you go. Next likely level is higher time frame low for support, 405 area. I don't know what the earnings were. It's green, so we had a $9 million surprise. So it must have been guidance, or I don't know what else. There might have been news on it. What are they saying? That reports results for the quarter without looking at all the earnings information, but investors and traders didn't like it. So that's quite the move down. Wow, that was a big sweep up here on Apple, right? And then it started selling from R6. Yeah, I don't know if anybody caught that. SMCI we were looking at yesterday. Tesla could be at an area of resistance here near yesterday's high, and higher time frame level here with this white line. Get rid of these. There we go. Again, RVOL is not working properly, so please disregard that. There we go. I delete this. Yeah, I'm being patient for this area over here.
Sorry, Joe. I was talking when I was talking about gold. I meant it to the short side.
Yeah.
I got into a short myself.
Nice.
Yeah, 45.92.
Right there.
Yeah.
Good.
Because on bigger time frames, it seems like, let's see if it will make a double bottom. We still have a level at 45.75. That's a monthly level, so it's area of interest for the big players. But the way it's been selling off like all day,
Yeah, the last, it's definitely in a downtrend right now. And then a big move starting from last night, 8 p.m. last night in gold as well. So it happened in MNQ, MES. I don't know what other products. Don't know if there was news. Don't know what happened there. But anyway, nice move down. That's pre-market low. It does seem to be making lower highs. So yeah, that's a good position.
And I was watching also today the video for this gentleman talking about sorry, I forgot. He was talking about the volume profile and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If we use some of his theories in this trade, we'll see that there is some longs already underwater in here.
Yeah. This is something I'm not there yet. Something like I think I've shared before. I used to subscribe to Sierra charts for their volume profile, and I used to trade at them, but I'm unfamiliar with it right now. You're talking about Zach, and
exactly.
yeah, and the way that he trades, and it is something that is on my to-do list, is to start using this a little bit more than I do now. So
I'm not using these charts. They're too complicated for me, but I'm using the cumulative
yeah,
VD, the delta.
yeah,
We can see on the volume it's going more towards the selling side. And I've been using since before the volume profile for the session.
yeah.
And we can see in gold that we have some longs from 45.80 until 45.88. So if we want to fish for stops, we can go down to 45.77, something like that.
Yeah.
To get them, to take them out before the second move. I might be wrong. I just watched the video today.
Yeah.
And I've been using the volume profile. It's very interesting.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely interesting. It's one of those tools that once you're proficient with it, it can answer a lot of questions. Right, and for me right now, I'm just not there. Too many things on my plate, but it is something that I definitely want to add. But just looking at candle profile, we are making new lows. Right, the highs are making we're making lower highs. We had been making lower lows. So for it to break structure, we'd have to get into the 50 again. But look at the fib that I put on there. Again, I could put this anywhere and I could make it look like the 50 is perfect everywhere. But the most recent selling started right around this area here, right? This is where we really started selling. So the high before this selling was right around here. So at the high of the wick, we're right here, right? The high of the zone is there. So this is where it rejected most recently, right? It's also over here, but I like this. We're consolidating over here. We dipped down. We tried to make a new high here and could not get any higher. So that's, if I were to put it there, then the rejection was in the golden zone. Right? If I were to put it over here, right, at this most recent selling, right, we pulled back, then went up, could not make a new high. Then it made it above the golden zone. Right? So again, this is subjective. It's and it works incredibly well after the fact. Right? So that's the problem with it. But what I like doing is drawing them and looking at price action, looking at volume, not as much as I used to, but looking at volume as well, and trying to see how do we react to this zone. So as far as the selling is concerned, this is definitely a good short from your entry. Right? Target, hopefully it gets down to low of day, right? Or pre-market low.
Yeah, hopefully.
MNQ chopping its way up here. First half hour is over. So this is what I'd be looking at over here. This MES, same thing, right? That's on the higher, the larger time frame from pre-market high to pre-market low. From those fibs, this will likely be an area of interest. Same thing with an MNQ. It will likely, you're going to see it chopping around in here. What's oil doing? Oil was going up, right, from pre-market, or let's look at the open at 6 p.m. yesterday. So this low here to the high. Once we made that high, we dipped into the 50. So the long, if I were going long on a limit order, right there, that would have been stopped out right here. And aiming for 3R would be just right around there. Right. But if you do it manually, this right here, it dipped in here, and then I'd go into a 2-minute. And then do we have a strong bullish candle? Well, we do have a green candle here with wicks on both ends, but this has barely any wick. Let's zoom in. Right, so this candle right here, entry there, entry long, stop below the lowest wick, aim for 3R. There we go. Let's see if it works on this one. I don't like that it needs to get above this high here and above this high here. But let's see. Right, the higher time frame is bullish. And let's say you did get into this one and stopped out, you can get back in. Right, so let's see. Here I'll set an alert. I'm not trading this, so I'll get an alert if this 3R profit was achieved. NQ. So the long on NQ, there to there. Yeah, that would have worked right here. Tony, if you're listening, I hope you took that. Long. Stop there. Yeah. Right, started buying, went up to here, so fib from the low to the high, dip down to the 50, limit order entry, stop at 61.8, plus 3R, achieved on the next candle, or 2 candles later. If anybody else trades these, please don't hesitate to share the setups that you guys are seeing, or be great to, not that we're not planning on looking for signals or anything, but it's nice to look at what everybody is trading and the different strategies that people are trading. And I said it yesterday, the reason that I started getting back into this was because I would trade a rejection of the highs here, right? So for me to get into this, let's say it wasn't at 8 p.m. last night. For me to get into this, I wanted to see a wick reject and possibly even take out the liquidity above the highs. But it didn't give me an entry. But it's obvious that it was selling. So what you do is find another entry. So from there, there's the low, right? Just a few candles away. Zoom in, right? That's the high. That's the pullback right here. Let's put it right to the right level. Came right back into the 50 and rejected. Put in a new low. Now get in. Conservative stop. Aggressive stop. Aim for 3R. And that's where it was hit. No, I would have been stopped out with the aggressive. That's why what I'm building out right now is 1R is mechanical. It's at 61.8. So 3R is a little bit further. Right there. Right? That's why I really like this system. Is that when you miss the entry, the initial entry, it's like a break and retest, right? It's breaking down and retesting, having difficulty, going back down, retesting again, can't make it up. Look at the second time. Look at what happens here on a 5-minute time frame, right? Once we make a new low after we really tried to punch up and couldn't make it, look at the size of this candle. And then the next candle, and then the next. It's like, okay, the sellers are in charge here. So even if you miss the initial entry, it's possible to get back in. And on MNQ and MES overnight, it was possible multiple times. So yeah, I think I'm moving to Europe.
I want to move to Asia. Most of the moves now, they're happening in Asia.
Yeah, it's one place I have yet to visit. I've been to
Thailand. I've been to Thailand 2 times.
To where, sorry?
Thailand. Phuket, it's amazing.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Actually, I'll make it I've got a long story, but I'll make it short. Thailand was absolutely on our bucket list, but both my daughters have peanut allergies. We're not going to
that stuff going there.
It's from Thai food that we eat here, or that we used to, Thai restaurants that we visited in Canada. There's peanuts in everything. And my youngest daughter is allergic to pistachios, and we were just in Italy. Well, there's pistachios in everything there as well. So allergies are a pain in the ass. But so that's why we were not planning on going to Thailand with our girls. Once my wife retires, maybe. But I can only imagine how amazingly beautiful it must be. Which part of Thailand were you in, Tarek?
I went to Phuket. There is a nice resort over there. I'd highly recommend, if you're going, you and your wife on your own, just to go there. It's called Six Senses.
I'm writing it down. Hang on. What the heck? There we go. Six Senses?
Six Senses, yes.
In Phuket. Was it, this might be a silly question, but was it affected by the tsunami in 2004?
No, I've been there after 2004. It's not in
That
Phuket.
hotel, I'm assuming pretty much everything was affected by that tsunami in 2004. And I'm assuming there's not a lot of remnants of that anymore. It's been so long.
Yeah, it was good. It's in another island called Koh Samui. This resort is amazing. You feel like royalty.
Oh
You
yeah,
have your butler and stuff like that. It's just out of this world. A private pool, which is really private, as in no one can look into your pool and stuff like that. Open showers in the nature.
that sounds incredible. What are prices like?
That's tricky. That's tricky.
It's expensive?
Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there are some places, some resorts that it's unbelievable how affordable it is. I mean, we're in North America, so we go to the Dominican Republic quite a lot, and there's some gorgeous resorts in Dominican. Yeah, I know they don't compare to Thailand. If anybody's listening to this, that I'm not comparing them, but there are some beautiful 5-star resorts that can be pretty affordable. But I'm assuming in Thailand there's not much that's budget.
This one is not really pricey. It's around $1,000 a night.
Yeah,
I shared the link. Take a look at it.
yeah, I just saw that. Thank you. I will. I'll go look at that. Yeah, we were in London last year, and around this, in June, July, and beautiful. We loved it. Absolutely loved London, and but it's it's so incredibly expensive. It's yeah, it's
I will go
the most expensive places I've ever traveled to in my life.
Sorry.
I was just saying, London. I've done a lot of traveling in my life, and London, in just going by memory, I think is probably the most expensive place I've ever traveled to.
Yeah, my brother been there. He told me the same.
Yeah,
Telling me by far it's expensive.
yeah, and I would go back. I absolutely loved it. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, but what a awesome city. But yeah, bring your wallet, bring the American Express, because it's pricey.
And next time we'll go stay at Hamza's place. All
At,
of us.
who's there?
Hamza.
Hamza's there. Oh yeah, there you go.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, man.
Yeah. No, it's funny that you say that, because it'd be nice to when people travel, it'd be great to catch up and meet the people that are in these groups. I know Avi was talking about North America this summer. I don't know if he's mentioned anything more, but yeah, it'd be great to have lunch and meet up with the people that are in this room. I know there's quite a lot of Canadians. I know that um, I think Zach is actually not too far away from me, and Amal, and anyway, there's a few others that are in Canada. A lot of people in Dubai, California, Julien, Montreal, or Montreal. Don't know if you're French or Anglophone. I know Montreal is there's a lot of Anglophones in Montreal. Yeah, there's somebody else that's in Montreal. Who was it? Can't remember. You're a French guy in Montreal, Julian? Or is it Julien? Oui, monsieur. There we go. Japan, good place to visit now. Yen is down. Japan is absolutely on our short list. We went to Australia last year for we took our daughters out of school for a while, and January of 25, December and January 25, went to Australia. And the plan was to go to Japan on the way. But logistically, as far as clothing is, when you're leaving for a month and a half and going to Surfers Paradise and the Gold Coast and Brisbane and very, very warm weather in Australia, it just didn't make sense to go to Japan during the same trip, because we would have had to pack all kinds of winter clothing. But anyway, all that to say that we absolutely want to make our way to Japan one of these days. Seems like a beautiful place. Next cherry blossom season. Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing? So 10:25, I'm going to be walking away at 10:30. This is also something I'm working on as far as value. Yesterday value high, yesterday value low. Just in case you're seeing that on my chart here, it is something I plan on incorporating in my indicator, in my yesterday high, yesterday low. These levels are often magnets as well. You look at where the value high was over here. Now that we're below yesterday's value low, it could be resistance. So again, part of what I'm working on to make a really good, strong future system. Gold is taking its time to make it down there.
Yeah, I'm getting impatient.
Yeah, but there's no, I don't know, again, I'm not saying anything to influence anyone, but if I were in a short here, these wicks, I'm showing that we're being defended here, right? We're not making new highs. Right, it's below this higher time frame. I don't even know where. I know I had this line from a higher time frame. Yeah, it was right around this, right? This area here, the high here, and then touch, and then wicked up here, and then again this area here. Back to the 5. Yeah, patience is one thing that you have to have in this profession. It is something that I have developed over the years. Sit on your hands, and it's okay to do nothing. Watch it, it'll spike up now just because I said that. But yeah, personally, I'm going to be walking away soon. I'm very curious to see if and when it gets to this level on MNQ and MES. I want to see how it reacts to this level. We are definitely just sideways now. The market's open. Right, just going sideways here. See you later, Will. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I was just going to say 10:30 is coming up. Avi's typing something in the announcements right now. I don't know if he's planning on coming in or if he is in. Hard to tell. But yeah, I'm going to cut out. The room remains open. Obviously, you guys are going to start talking a little bit more now that that I'm off. But yeah, this is what I'm looking for. I want to see what happens with the MNQ and MES at these levels. And that's where I'm going to decide if I want to get involved. And my only involvement at this point would be the further, if it rejects this area, I'd be looking at taking a 3-hour short, right, back towards the lower day. I should also share that if it does make its way, and I will set an alert, if it makes its way down here, I would be looking at the possibility of a double bottom entry, which I don't take often. They don't show up often the way that I like them. But if it were to take its time, come down here and show a lot of buying at this area, because we are still in a bull market, right? We're still not necessarily a bull market, but we are bullish, right? The higher time frame, the 4-hour, once we look at that, we're definitely bullish. Right, there's a lot of buying over here. Wow, a lot of drawings I need to take out. Okay, it is 10:30. I'm going to cut out. Thanks for participating, either in the chat or talking about travels or talking about trades. Very fun to talk to everyone. So good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow.